Hello, Jacksonites, and welcome to episode 3 of Halloween Month. Of course, as I mentioned in the end of my last review, today I will be discussing, in my eyes, an even more superior film, and is one of my favorite of the entire franchise, and what many consider to be their favorite of the franchise, if not favorite, at least one of the best. Today I will be discussing 1988's Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. And yes, you read the title right. Of course, joining me today is fellow non-horror movie fan, BigJackFilms.
Hello, and yeah, I'm a semi-horror fan. Let's put it like this. And yeah, this is probably next to the original and the Rob Zombie remake. Probably my favorite. Probably in my top 3 favorite Halloween movies.
Yeah, that does set the mood for this review. A lot of people really do seem to like Halloween 4. I've seen a couple haters of Halloween 4 here and well, not really haters, but I've seen some people come out and say they don't think Halloween 4 is their favorite and they don't think it's the best in the series. I've yet to hear somebody say it's the worst of the franchise, though honestly, I think if anybody was to say it's the worst, I just have to say, have you not seen 5 and have you not seen the producer's cut of 6?
Very true.
But yeah.
We should go through a bit of, before we get to the story.
I'm going to get to that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
We should get to the pumpkin in the room.
No pun intended. So, okay, after the success of Halloween 2, John Carpenter and Deborah Hill got bored of the Michael Myers slasher stick. So they decided to take the Halloween series in a different direction and make it into an anthology series. Hang on a second. Harold of Vortios. What's good?
That's Thomas. That's Thomas, my buddy Thomas.
What's Negos?
Don't worry about it. But yeah, so Thomas is a friend of mine. He's been on the show. He's kind of having a rough day, so I thought I'd invite him to the screen to just come on in and talk.
Well, hello, Thomas. Anyway, so, they decided to make. Oh, okay. Carpenter decided to turn the Halloween series into an anthology series, something along the lines of Tales from the Crypt or Tales from the Dark Side, where every year we get a new Halloween movie that would be a different self-contained story, but the only recurring theme is that the story itself happens around Halloween time.
It's sort of in a sense, I just want to put this up, it's sort of like what they're doing with the Cloverfield franchise, where instead of because I originally wanted a sequel to that, but maybe I was thinking about calling it Cloverfield Angle, like Cloverfield the B camera, meaning like it's the same story of the monster, but it's told from a different perspective.
Well, we actually are getting a legit sequel to the first Cloverfield movie now.
But we had to literally go through 2 major anthology movies. One was decent, but the other one kind of sucked. And but I'm glad now that they're going back to what people want. They want a sequel. They want it to be about a giant kaiju rather than a monster movie. So Halloween kind of went through the same thing. They did 3, and yeah.
So that's what they did. And Halloween 3: Season of the Witch came out in 1983. And, well, despite having a budget of $2 million and making $14 million in its box office, which technically is a financial success because it made 7 times its original budget, it was still considered a financial failure, and fans and critics absolutely hated the movie upon its release because they said, "Where's Michael Myers?" Aside from a few cameos on TV because they played the original Halloween, Michael Myers wasn't in it. So obviously nowadays, Halloween 3 is considered the black sheep of the series, and the studio decided to not pursue the anthology route. So after the disappointment of Halloween 3, the studios said, if we're going to make another Halloween movie, we got to have Mike Myers back. And lo and behold,
I want to point out too that, like, even though it wouldn't make sense given that I guess Halloween 3 takes place in an alternate universe or an alternate timeline, you know what honestly would have been a good twist to Halloween 6? Is if the Thorn Cult was actually the Silver Shamrock Company, and Michael was one of their weapons. If they had explained that the Silver Shamrock thing were the people behind Michael doing what he did. Maybe the mask that he had, or the masks he did have, were one of the original prototypes of the Silver Shamrock. That would have actually made a bit more sense.
It's not a bad idea in theory.
I know, right? That's kind of my idea.
So
That's what I would have done.
In 1988, we got Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, of course. And it was a fairly successful movie, having a budget of $5 million and making, what was it, $17 million? Actually, I have the Wikipedia. Yeah, $5 million and $17.7 million in its box office, which to me that doesn't sound like a big investment, but I guess for 1988 that was a lot of money, so it was a big success. So, and that's when the Halloween series was then restarted, and studios abused it, but we'll get to that next time. So what's your personal history with Halloween 4?
Well, the thing is with Halloween is that I kind of knew it was around. I didn't know what it was as a kid. I never watched these movies as a kid. It wasn't really till, again, the advent of the internet and watching Monster Madness, Cinemassacre's Monster Madness, and him talking about the first movie on the first season, but then when he did the sequel-a-thon and he discussed those Halloween, all the Halloween movies in depth, I was like, these actually are interesting. So I did watch the original, and I thought it was okay. I know you didn't like it. I did like the second one. Never watched the third one. The third one I didn't like, or it didn't really didn't interest me. Like, all I remember was the ending where it's like, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it! And it's like, what the hell happened? Did he die? What happened? Did he just die with everyone? I don't get it. So really watching, I think I've seen 4 and 5 the most. I've only seen 6 once. But the reason I watched 4 and 5 so much was because they were a constant replay on AMC for the last few years for me. And that's when I really started to watch them, was on AMC. Now, of course, AMC censors the shit out of them. But at the same time, like, I felt like those were my first introductions of 4 and 5. And 5 is really not my thing whenever it's on, but I like when 4's on. I enjoy 4 a lot. It's not only because it's a return to the norm, but the twist ending is probably arguably has the best ending in the entire franchise. And in that sense, I wish it was a direction they honestly took. But we'll get to that in the plot. So that's one of the
that ending actually is one of my problems with this movie.
Really? Because that's the reason I love 4 is the ending is like fucking brilliant. Well, but we'll get to that. What's your history?
So my history with Halloween 4, like I've said a few times in the past, I watched a lot of the Halloween movies for the first time on YouTube. Back when YouTube was not very big-lipped alligator moment. What?
Oh, he's talking about how like the ending to Halloween 4 was a big-lipped alligator moment, meaning like it happens, it's a big shock, and then in the next movie they never bring it up again.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so back when YouTube was a lot more laxed with its upload this movie to YouTube, you could do it in parts, and each video was like 10 minutes long. You know, like Who Framed Roger Rabbit parts 1 through 10, something like that. That's also how I watched Who Framed Roger Rabbit for the first time on YouTube in parts.
Great movie.
Oh yeah, should have gotten a sequel.
I think they're still trying to do that.
Well, with Bob Hoskins, it just won't be the same. Anyway, so Halloween 4, I of course was very interested in seeing Halloween 4. Like you said, when I saw James Rolfe's sequelathon for Monster Madness, when he reviewed all the Halloween movies, 4 really stuck out to me as being one that I was really intrigued by. So I watched it on YouTube, and I actually watched it in one sitting. And man, was I very much so pleasantly surprised. And then right after that, I put on Halloween 5. Didn't finish it, but I finished it the next day.
It's like you didn't finish it because they put a copyright claim on the fucking videos. Damn it!
No, I got interrupted because I was using my stepmom's computer, and she came home.
Right.
Different story. So Halloween 4, I rewatched it a few more times. Sorry, I just ate before I did this on YouTube. And then finally I purchased, about 4 years later, I purchased the DVD and rewatched it again. And I loved it again. I really do think, I think Halloween 4 is legitimately one of the very best of the Halloween series. Probably my second favorite. I'm not going to say what my favorite is. Huh?
Did you say it's better than 2?
Oh, yeah. I do. Not to say that 2 is bad. Obviously, watch my review. But I just really do think that Halloween 4 is better than Halloween 2. And it is my second favorite of the Halloween series. Hands down. Not going to say what my favorite is. Yet, at least. But yeah, I like Halloween 4. So the plot of Halloween 4 goes something like this. In 1988, of course, on October 30th, Michael Myers, who has been in a coma for 10 years since the big kaboom at Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, Halloween 2.
Hold up. I hear that and I'm like... You're joking? I'm like J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man 2. I'm just like...
You serious? Hey, for what? Stand in there? The planetarium tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. There's the door. He is transferred to Smith's Grove Sanitarium by ambulance. Thought he was already there. Whatever. And en route, Michael awakens upon hearing that Laurie Strode, who died in a car accident, has a daughter, Jamie Lloyd. He kills the ambulance personnel by jamming his thumb into one of their skulls, and makes his way to Haddonfield in search of his niece, Jamie. Fellow survivor...
When you realize the Jamie Lee Curtis took the Roy Scheider route in terms of 4 sequels. Because Jaws 4, they say that Brody died of a heart attack or something in between movies.
Yeah. Fellow survivor Dr. Samuel Loomis goes to Haddonfield after learning that Michael escaped from his transfer and follows Michael to a gas station where he killed a mechanic for his clothes along with a clerk and disabled all the phones. He then escapes in a tow truck and causes a big kaboom, which also ends up destroying Dr. Loomis's car in the process, and he is forced to then catch a ride to Haddonfield, which he does with a drunk, nutty priest.
How did Michael have the time to plant an explosion in Dr. Loomis's
car? I think it's because he knocked into the gas station.
Okay.
So meanwhile, Jamie, played by the wonderfully talented Danielle Harris, this being her first film, I believe.
She's adorable.
She is. So Jamie is living in Haddonfield with her foster family, Richard and Darlene Caruthers, and their teenage daughter, Rachel. Rachel being played by Ellie Cornell. Beautiful woman.
Rachel!
I really hate what Halloween 4 does to her. Not Halloween 4, Halloween 5 does to her. Anyway, Jamie knows about Michael. However, she is unaware that he is the strange man that she has been having nightmares about. And as Richard and Darlene head out for the night and leave Rachel to babysit Jamie, this causes her to miss her date with her boyfriend, Brady. And after school, Rachel takes Jamie to buy some ice cream and a Halloween costume. And at that point, Michael has already arrived in Haddonfield and nearly attacks Jamie in the Halloween store while he recovers a mask. Which, contrary to popular belief, this is my favorite Michael Myers mask of the entire franchise.
We're going to have a discussion about that.
So that night, as Rachel is taking Jamie trick-or-treating, Michael arrives at the electrical substation and kills a worker by throwing him into high-voltage things, which plunges the town into darkness. And Loomis arrives in Haddonfield and warns the new sheriff, Ben Meeker, that Michael has returned, Sheriff Brackett having retired and moved 50 miles away.
Remember, I shot him 6 times!
Michael then attacks the police station and kills all the police officers in the entire station. Damn! And a lynch mob is formed by the town's men to track down and kill Michael. However, Rachel's discovered Brady cheating on her with the sheriff's daughter, Kelly.
Oh, Jerry!
And loses track of Jamie in the process. And after being chased by Michael, Rachel then finds Jamie. Sheriff Meeker and Loomis arrive and take the girls to the sheriff's house with Brady, Kelly, and a deputy, interrupting Brady and Kelly's fuck session, sadly. They then proceed to barricade the house, and Loomis departs to look for Michael. And with Sheriff Meeker in the basement awaiting the arrival of the state police, Michael sneaks his way into the house, kills the deputy and Kelly, probably one of the most memorable kills in all slasher movie history.
That's the one with the gun, right?
When Michael has a shotgun. Actually,
yes!
Where Michael aims like he's about to shoot and then stabs her with it through her you-know-what and impales her through the floor. Not floor, wall.
There's blood for that somewhere.
Talk about vaginal penetration.
No, I was going to say, talk about bad aim.
And the look on her face.
It has to be... Oh, you know what it is? Love gun. You pull the trigger on my love gun.
You could say Michael's performance really blew her away.
There it is! There it is!
And the look on her face as she like goes spread eagle on the wall. It's like,
I guess you could say Michael got triggered.
Michael just invented the naked gun.
Oh, that's so good! So good!
Anyway, so let's see. So after killing Kelly, where was I? Sadly, because she has a fantastic rack.
I'm gonna be honest and say I'm not a fan of 80s chicks. It's the hair. It's the puffy hair style back. I never was a fan of that.
So discovering all the bodies, Rachel, Jamie, and Brady realize that they are trapped within this house, and Rachel and Jamie flee to the attic. When Michael appears, Brady tries to fend him off, but he is then killed by having his neck broken. Rather brutally, actually. Actually, Michael beats the shit out of him, using the gun again, whacking him in the...
Taking the same gun and just beat... that should be his new weapon. He takes a gun and he never shoots it. He just stabs and beats people with the gun.
Yeah, whacks Brady in the face with a fucking shotgun. Easily broken his nose.
To quote Pirates of the Caribbean 3. Oi!
My pistol. Yeah, like, oi! My pistol. Oh! So the girls climb through a window onto the roof, and Jamie is lowered down safely. However, Michael attacks Rachel and knocks her off the roof, at least spraining her ankle. So pursued by Michael, Jamie runs down the street and finds Loomis. They take shelter in the school. However, Michael appears and subdues Dr. Loomis before resuming his chase of Jamie throughout the building. Jamie trips and falls down a flight of stairs. However, before Michael can kill her, Rachel arrives and sprays him in the face with a fire extinguisher. The lynch mob and the state police arrive at the school after hearing the school's alarm go off, and the lynch mob agrees to take Jamie and Rachel into the next town in a pickup. However, Michael somehow climbs aboard the truck and kills the men on it. Rachel takes the wheel and throws Mike off the truck and rams him, sending him flying into a ditch near an abandoned mine. Meeker, surviving members of the lynch mob, and the state police arrive, and when Michael rises after Jamie touches his hand, they shoot the ever-living shit out of Michael before he falls down a mine shaft. Loomis and Meeker take the girls back home. Darlene and Richard, who have arrived back home, console their traumatized kids. And as Darlene goes upstairs to run Jamie a bath, she is attacked by Jamie. Loomis hears Darlene's screams and races halfway up the stairs before he stops dead in his tracks. And he sees an emotionless Jamie standing at the top of the stairs wearing a clown mask, holding a pair of scissors in her hand, her costume stained with blood, which looks very similar to when Michael killed his older sister when he was a kid. Loomis backs against the wall and raises his gun to shoot her.
He goes, no, 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 no. I love that.
Loomis slowly sinks down to the floor, having realized that Jamie is following in Michael's footsteps, thus ending the film. So how about this story?
It would have made more sense if the fifth film was called The Curse of Michael Myers, because it would deal with it's maybe a curse or something, and the girl gets it. I don't know. Anyway, so the whole plot.
Despite me really liking this plot, does it sound familiar? It's the plot of the first movie.
Not.
Yes.
Kinda.
Yes, it is. It's the plot of the first movie.
So it's a Jurassic World. It's a soft reboot.
You can kind of say that.
Reboot.
Yeah, it is a soft reboot. Nice. Not that I have an issue with the plot being the same as the original, because in my eyes, it's better, despite it being shorter than the original, which is actually one of my problems I'll get to with the film. I still do like this story. I think it's well done. Overall, I ain't got that much to say about it, other than I think it's well done.
I mean, I like it. I mean, the plot is a little paper thin. And it is, yeah, it's essentially a soft reboot of the first one.
But you could argue that the plot to the original Halloween is pretty paper thin.
But it's almost like it's the same kind of plot as Jurassic World, where it's like, oh, we're kind of just doing the first one again, but it is still in continuity with those films. And that's...
Or like Force Awakens.
Whereas unlike Jurassic World, where you could fit it into the continuity, I will admit the whole biggest problem with the plot of this film is that how the fuck did Michael and Dr. Loomis survive the explosion and come out looking that fucking good? Because
I'm going to quote Boots to Reboots. Money has magical healing powers.
It would have made, well, I can accept Michael because we don't really see his face, well, really, until they fuck it up in part 5. But wouldn't it have made more sense if he came out looking more like Jason, where he's kind of more deformed as the series goes? That would make more sense. Dr. Loomis is a little bit of a different story. I would have at least expected him to look a little bit like Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool, like maybe have a bit more burnt makeup on him, or maybe even Anakin from episode 6, Return of the Jedi, where he's more just like he's burnt, but he's healed quickly in 10 years. That's what I would have done. But, like, that's really the only big plot hole in the film. I mean, I will admit, like, I do, like, there is also the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis pretty much went Jaws the Revenge on the plot, said, fuck no, I'm out. And basically, yeah, they gave it to another lead, which the middle lead, the girl who plays
Danielle Harris.
Yeah, she's fucking great. But the thing is, too, with those movies, that there are some great moments in it.
We'll get to the characters in a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
So, wrapping up our thoughts on the story, I think it's fine. I think it's well done. It is a tad paper thin, yes, but the original's plot was pretty paper thin, too. So, it ain't like the bar was set pretty high to begin with.
Yeah.
So, let's get to our pros and cons with Halloween 4. Starting, of course, with the pros. How many do you have?
I have about 3 or 4.
I have 8.
Okay. So how about I go first, and then, like, I'll let you go. Pro number 1, Danielle Harris, is that her name?
Danielle Harris.
She's great. She is probably the highlight of the movie. Her acting is phenomenal, and she's really good with everything she's got. And you know what? From what I heard, she had a blast making those movies, and, you know, the crew treated her with utmost respect.
She did.
It's not like a fucking Corey Feldman situation where everybody was creeping on her. No offense, Corey. That's another story. But to the point, everybody respected her, and everybody had fun. I mean, I've even seen behind the scenes where, like, she and the guy who plays Michael are just having fun, and it's almost like in another time, in another life, her and her uncle just got along really well, you know, something like, you know, it's kind of sweet when you think about it. So she's great. Pro number 2, the kills are pretty good in this fucking movie. The kills are spectacular. Needed we say more about that goddamn shotgun stab? A stab gun. It's fucking great. I can't remember really the other. That's probably the most iconic kill in the movie. I don't know. I can't really. Yeah, it's weird because I can't remember any of the other kills.
I do.
Pro number 3. Well, this is kind of, it's a scene and a character. I think that, because the thing is for me with the Halloween series, my favorite character in the whole thing, and you disagree, is Dr. Loomis. And that's because he is the Van Helsing of what I consider the Silver Age of horror movies. He is the Van Helsing. He is the one that is, like, fighting this evil. And the scene I want to point out that I love with him, the best scene that he's in, is with him and the priest. It's symbolic, it's poetic, and I honestly wish the priest hung around a bit more. Because the priest was even a great character. I felt like if they two had maybe worked together, like maybe like Loomis saw him as, you know, like, oh, it's evil, pure evil, but then like the priest maybe saw him as like the devil incarnate, and then maybe Michael killed him. But that priest was so interesting to me. I'm like, I want to see him in the rest of the movie. So there's that. And then pro number 4 is the ending is, I love it, is a great twist. It's unexpected, and it just makes the whole thing with Michael not really. It's not a cult. It's not this or that. It's the fact that it's some form of evil that can't be stopped, and it just, once the person who has it dies, it's inherited to the next generation. I think that should have been the direction they went with, rather than the stupid fucking Thorn cult that they ended up doing, which is fucking retarded. Those are my 4 pros of the film.
Well, I have 8. Pro number 1 is, of course, Danielle Harris. Oh my God. She is such a wonderful little actress. And actually, she has gone on to be a very successful horror movie actress to this day. So, of course, she did Halloween 5, but she also did Rob Zombie's Halloween. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. She was also in Hatchet 2 and 3.
She's kind of hot, too, eh?
She turned into a pretty good-looking woman. She's short, though. I think she's like 5 foot. Could say she's fun-sized. Danielle Harris is absolutely wonderful in this movie. She's not annoying, thank God.
She's not that level of acting.
Because someone erased it from the archive memory.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do? Kid actors in Star Wars suck.
Yes.
You know who should have? I just want to put a side note. You know who should have casted the kids in the fucking prequels? Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Should have just at least told George, look, I'll handle the kids, buddy. You don't know how to handle them. Well, that came out wrong. Wow.
You walked into that one, boy.
Oh.
That came out wrong, too. Moving on. So, yeah, Danielle Harris, she is absolutely fantastic in this movie. She's not annoying. None of her dialogue feels forced. She actually kind of seems like she's an old soul. Like, I think she's like, what, 10? No, she's not 10. She's maybe 9 years old in this movie. She has the mentality of a 16-year-old, if you ask me. Which is giving a lot of credit to somebody so young, but it just goes to show that Danielle Harris was a pretty talented little actress. So yeah, Danielle Harris is absolutely fantastic, and in my opinion, she does exceed Jamie Lee Curtis from the first two, especially Halloween 2.
I wonder, has Jamie Lee Curtis ever met her?
I have no doubt.
That'd be interesting if they took a photo together, if, like, you know, mother and daughter finally meet. You know,
I don't know that for sure, but you know, maybe they have.
It would have been interesting if she did show up in the new Halloween.
Pro number 2 is Ellie Cornell as Rachel. Very likable. I totally buy these two as being foster sisters. In fact,
the chemistry between them is pretty good.
Very, very well done chemistry. It also did help that they actually do get along very well in real life. And actually, there was a commentary track done for this copy of Halloween 4 where both Danielle Harris and Ellie Cornell did an audio commentary for this film. And which, by the way, if you can get this is the Anchor Bay release of Halloween 4. If you can get your hands on this copy, listen to the audio commentary with Danielle Harris and Ellie Cornell. It's very insightful, and it's really nice. Just huh?
Sister talk. That's why I'm labeling that commentary.
What?
No, because they're both sisters in the movie, and I guess they're kind of sisters in real life.
I thought you said fister talk. I was about what?
No, sister. You ruined the joke.
Moving on. So yeah, Danielle Harris and Ellie Cornell's chemistry is pitch perfect in Halloween 4. I totally buy them as them being sisters. I totally buy them as them truly caring for each other. She's absolutely fantastic. She's a very good secondary character to latch on to. Well, actually, no, you could tertiary character. She's a very good tertiary character. It's just a goddamn shame what happened to her in Halloween 4. It's actually one of my biggest problems with Halloween 5. One of my biggest problems with Halloween 5, but more on that later. So yeah, Rachel is a fantastic character. Pro number 3 is Dr. Loomis, surprisingly. I think this is Dr. Loomis at his best in this film.
I agree. Hands down, I agree.
He is absolutely excellent in this movie. Despite him being crippled, despite him clearly being much, much older, Dr. Loomis still proves that he has what it takes to do his damnedest and to be both proactive in this situation and be just the best hero that he can be. He's got
possibly one of Donald Pleasance's best performances. I mean, actually, if you want a movie that he's really shines through and has a very good character, think of the movie where Dr. Loomis and John Hammond have to fight Nazis in World War II, The Great Escape. him and Richard Attenborough, them chemistry and everything is fucking fantastic, and that's one of my favorite Donald Pleasance roles, probably the best.
I wouldn't say it's the best, but that is a very good one. I think this is
the most iconic role.
There's also another Donald Pleasance movie where he wasn't a big character in it, but he was in it nonetheless. I can't remember what it was called, but no, it was a World War One. No, was it World War One? Yeah, it was a World War One movie. I can't remember what it was called, but he played the main character's teacher, and he was great in that film.
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on. Dr. Loomis is absolutely fantastic in this movie. He's got some of his best lines in the entire series. Overall, Dr. Loomis, he's great in this movie at his very best in the entire series. He's got some decent lines in the next movie, but I don't think he's that good in part 6. That's just because...
I will admit, though, I just love it when Dr. Loomis goes over the top in all the movies. Like in this one, it's, meow, 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 and then two, he's like, I shot him 6 times, and then you got the 6th one where he's like, ah! I'm sorry, you're an old man, you're making funny faces. It's hilarious.
Anyway, so pro number 4 is that this movie, in my opinion, is very well paced. Not one scene drags.
Yeah.
It's very cinematically paced, if you ask me. It's slower when it needs to be, but it's more quicker when it needs to be. Because, like I said, not one scene drags. Every scene feels important to the plot. Overall, I think this movie has some of the best pacing of the entire Halloween franchise. Pro number 5 is that this movie has very good suspense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There's
I
lots
like the nightmare scene, actually. The nightmare scene, because it just comes right at the beginning, hits you right off the
right
bat.
out of butt the fuck nowhere. Yeah.
Shit.
Comes right out of butt the fuck nowhere, and it gets you on the edge of your seat, and it gets you on your toes. It's a great opening scare.
Well, minus the mask, but we'll get to that.
Fuck you. Also, the scenes when Michael is stalking Rachel and Jamie at night, also great moments of suspense and scares too. Which this movie has some pretty decent scares as well. I'm not going to add that as a pro because it goes into the suspense. There's a lot of shocker moments, like the opening nightmare scene, of course. And when we discover Michael is the one with the shotgun, the music just gets really loud at that point. There's like this screeching alarm that's going off, and to let the audience know. Yeah, it's an oh shit moment. So yeah, that's a good scare. But when you see Michael's silhouette in the foggy blue wet streets of Haddonfield, it's a really creepy shot, and it's kind of sends shivers up my spine a little bit. Which also, this movie is very well lit as well. There's a lot of deep, dark sapphire blues, which I really like. It reminds me a lot of like something like a Tim Burton movie almost. A little bit, yeah. Just without the sepia tone.
I will admit, oh, dude, Tim Burton's Halloween. If he decides to do a redo, that'd be good. But with Danny Elfman kind of stuff in it.
No. So, and also speaking of which, this movie has very good kills, as we just mentioned. The shotgun kill, of course, is probably the best in the movie. When Brady's killed, that's a pretty good murder. When Michael totally just takes apart the 3 truckers in the back of the lynch mob truck, those are the pretty good ones. Overall, this movie has really good kills. They're not overly violent or anything, but they're violent enough to make it. The violence packs a punch. Without
there something, I can't remember. Was there something where like they filmed a lot of hardcore stuff, but then they had to cut it down?
No, that's the Friday the 13th series.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it just got worse and worse and worse with the kills being censored as the Friday the 13th series went on. Well, specifically with the Paramount movies. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, the kills are very good. They're not overly violent. They're just violent enough to make it give it a good punch, then that's it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pro number 7 is that the opening scene to this movie, not when Michael escapes from the ambulance, the opening title sequence is awesome. They don't use the Halloween theme. It's just this chilling, atmospheric droning sound. As you see images of a farm. Hang on, Jack. Let me finish. Damn it. As we see images of a farm, an empty farmland with the wind blowing, this droning music going on, various pieces of Halloween decorations, and the orange-colored font that they use for the titles just really does seem to glow against the background. It's very gray. It's like it's a sunset on a cloudy day. And it's absolutely amazing. It sets you in the mood for a good Halloween movie. And to this day, especially when I watch it at night, it sends some shivers up my spine.
I'll admit, I really do like the opening scenes. Yeah, it's good. Like, it's great. It's great. Don't get me wrong. But there is a little teeny part of me that wants to see an alternate cut where they do play the theme, but not fully blasted, but like maybe an eerie, slowed, 100% slower version of the theme where it's not like, you know, the da 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 da. It's more like da 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 da. It kind of maybe a little quieter, so something really like, think of if they did the Halloween theme mixed with the opening intro to Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Maybe they'll do that for Halloween 2018.
True. Yeah.
And finally, pro number 8 is Michael Myers in this movie is a total fucking hurricane badass.
I was going to say he's a beast.
That too. Because they introduce him as like this mythic, complete and utter monster without really dabbling into any supernatural elements that 5 and especially 6 will do. Michael just goes around, slaughters everybody in his way, and he cripples a town and a police station single-handedly. And that's another thing I like. The scene where we see the police station just be in absolute shambles. Well, yeah, I would have liked to see a little snippet of Michael going on a killing rampage throughout that. It's just the aftermath. Seeing the aftermath of his rampage in there really paints a picture of how deadly Michael Myers is in this movie. I'd actually might go as far to say this is Michael Myers at his most deadly.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'll say yes.
Though it's kind of debatable because Rob Zombie's Halloween movies really bump up the gore and the amount of damage that Mike can do. Partially because Michael Myers was played by Tyler Mane, a 6'7" wrestler. But we'll get to that when we get to the Rob Zombie movies.
I just want to say to the point, yeah, Michael's fantastic in this. This is probably him at his best and at his most terrifying. My only
Let me finish up my pro. I know what you're going to say. And also, contrary to popular belief, I don't mind the fact that Michael, the actor who played Michael, he wore hockey pads underneath the jumpsuit to beef him, make him look bulkier. I don't mind that, mainly just for practical reasons. Like, this guy's a stunt guy. He's going to be tossed around and he's going to be, hit by some stuff. It's good to have some padding and some protection underneath his suit. So I don't mind the fact that Michael looks like a bulky son of a bitch in this movie. Not to mention, it does make him look more intimidating. And also, like I said before, contrary to popular belief, I like Michael's mask in this movie. I think it's the most blankest expression that Michael's masks have ever gotten. And I think that's what makes it the most creepy and the most unsettling in my eyes.
Yes, it is blank. It is blankless expression. It is somewhat creepy. My only problem is that it's too white.
Nah.
And I mean that. it just seems too. It's almost like they took
like this white.
Yeah, like it's almost like they instead of making a legit version of the mask, they took a Halloween mask. Basically,
have you not seen the mask from Resurrection? That one's pretty damn white.
Yeah, but it just feels like I just felt like the hair slicked back.
I like the hair.
Like I wouldn't have minded just it being a new mask where it's like painted, but was not a fan of the slicked back hair. He came off less Michael Myers and more Mike Myers.
Nah.
And on top of that,
nah.
It reminds me a lot more of Hollow Man. Reminds me a lot more of Hollow Man, like when he has the mask on than it does, Michael Myers.
Nah.
I mean, I like the mask when it's a bit more dirty and it's a bit more banged up and everything. Like, no, imagine they took that mask and they just messed the hair up a little bit and made it a little more dirty.
What do you think of the Rob Zombie mask?
It's okay.
More on that later.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like Michael Myers' mask in this movie. I just like Michael Myers in this movie. He's a total badass. And I actually think this is also the closest to Jason Voorhees that he ever gets on the entire series.
Almost to the point where he's like
borderline a ripoff.
Like Jason. He almost looks like Jason in this.
Almost. So anyway, with that being said,
this came out in '88, right? This came out in '88.
Correct.
How many Friday the 13th were we up to at that point?
7.
Okay, so they were probably maybe even taking note from the Friday the 13th movie.
No doubt.
More like Jason.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So with that being said, are there any cons to this movie? For me, yes, I have 2. What do you have?
I have only a few minor.
Go ahead.
One, again, I mean, I think Michael was great, but I'm not a fan of that. Like, everything's good except the mask for me. That's really it. It is a little goofy for me. I will admit. It is a little goofy. I think
Part 5's mask is the absolute worst of the entire franchise.
Yeah, this is probably for me second worst. I will say that. Or no. I did not care for H2O. Or that era.
The main mask they use in H2O looks fine, but the CGI mask they use looks fucking terrible.
Oh, wait. They use CGI?
Yeah, they used the CG mask in one shot. One shot, but it looked awful. I'll send you a photo of it later.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh, and this is like 90s CG. Oh! Oh! No! No!
You looked it up, didn't you?
I'll be like Dr. Loomis. No!
You looked it up, didn't you?
No!
You looked it up, didn't you?
I'll look it up later. But that's one of my cons. 2. Again, if you make it try to fit in the continuity of Halloween 2, you're gonna fuck your brain up too much. You're gonna mess your brain up too much thinking about it. It's to quote a reviewer I really like named Mahler when he reviewed Fallen Kingdom. It's one of those movies where you watch it and you're like, oh fuck it, turn your brain off, we're having fun. Right? That's how I see it almost. It's like, fuck it, turn your brain off, we're having fun. So I will admit, like, how it kind of retcons and kind of doesn't. It's almost the equivalent. Like, Halloween 4 is for me the King Kong Lives of the Halloween movies. And what I mean by that is that it's the King Kong Lives of the Halloween movies. And what I mean by that is it kind of retcons the ending to the previous film. But if you look past that retcon, you can enjoy yourself. Is how I would put it. So I do feel like that's my other problem. I will admit, there are parts that are a little slow paced, but they don't bug me as much. And Yeah, really, that's really the only cons I have. It's just not a fan of the Michael mask, and I do feel like the retcon in making how Loomis and Michael survived is fucking retarded. Really, that's about it. You're sending me a picture of that fucking mask, aren't you? Cue the scene where Dr. Loomis sees this shit. Hold up.
Hold up, Jacksonites.
Hold up.
No. Don't play it. I don't want to get a copyright strike, you jackass.
No! Oh no! That's like fucking Spawn bad. No,
2 years after
like
Spawn.
Hollow Man mixed with Spawn, mixed with early tests of the T-1000 bad.
I think the special effects for Hollow Man are awesome. So what the fuck are you talking about?
No. I'm talking about know what I mean? No, you know what it is? It literally looks like the CGI when the T-1000 is on the floor in the hospital.
At least there it looks good.
Well, yeah, at least there it looks good, but if you put it on a fucking person, it looks utterly ugly and retarded. Oh my god, I hate, you know what, I take it back. I like the fourth, I take it back, Nick! I like the fourth mask better, I take it back!
Look up.
I like the fourth mask! H2O's mask stinks! It's fucking terrible! I take it back!
That's one of 3 masks that they used for H2O.
H2O stinks! It fucking stinks!
Back to Halloween 4. So I have 2 cons with Halloween 4. One is kind of a nitpick, but one is a major problem that I have. The nitpick is I think this movie is a little too short.
I will admit it's too short. Yeah.
I think it would have been better if it was just like 10 or 15 minutes longer. Maybe develop the relationship between Jamie and Rachel a little more. Not to say that's not developed. Again, we totally buy their chemistry, but I would like to see a little bit more. Mainly it's the first act I feel that feels just a tad rushed at times. So I think a little bit more time in the beginning between Jamie and her family would have been like maybe if the movie began on October 29th and then we saw some stuff on the 30th and then on 31st, that would have been fine.
Come to think of it, yeah, this movie does make you want a little more.
What we have is great, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But still, I think it would have been just a little better if we had some more. But again, that's just the nitpick. The big problem that I have, I don't like the ending.
You know what? I can kind of agree a little bit. Like, the twist is great.
No, I don't think it is. I think I think it comes right out of butt the fuck nowhere.
But that's the point. It's like completely like, holy shit, you don't even see it coming. You don't like, it's like, holy fuck, what's happening? Like, it's supposed to put you off guard. The part I don't like about the ending is, I will admit, Michael's death in the first movie felt really rushed and kind of stupid.
That's part of the ending. Don't like Michael's death. It just feels.
I hate his death.
It feels like a cop out, honestly, just to have the killer be shot down.
Literally, the cops and everybody just fucking shoot him. Bet you wish you thought of that one, didn't you?
Well, and especially with Michael falling down a mine shaft, it just treats him like a minor character, and the ending completely just falls apart. Like the entrance to the mine when he fell into it.
You know what they should have at least done? have it where he falls, and then maybe he's impaled on a spike or something, and then they
or no, do what they do in the beginning of Halloween 5. They show them throwing a stick of dynamite down the mine shaft.
Yeah, or something. Like, maybe he gets shot, and then he falls onto a spike or something. But yeah, I mean, I know that's the part I don't like, but what I do like is the twist ending is rather... It's an interesting direction. Again, I wish they fucking took. And that's why I hate Halloween 5, because they retcon that whole twist.
I don't buy it because I just don't buy Jamie becoming this mindless, emotionless killer. We've already had the movie before this to showcase that she is she's a little troubled, yes, but she's still a sweet, innocent little girl. I just don't buy this twist coming out of but the fuck nowhere the way that it does. So I'm actually glad.
I just feel like the to imply was that Michael's more immortality is basically passed on to the next generation. It's passed on to the next in the bloodline. And I would have rather see them take that direction than the stupid Thorn cult.
Well, I'm actually glad Part 5 does away with Jamie being retconned to not be the next killer. So good on Part 5 for that. So with that being said,
I felt like it made it pointless though, and that's what I hate.
Oh well. So anyway, this review is getting pretty long. So with that being said, what would you rate Halloween 4? What are your final thoughts?
Well, despite its flaws and its continuity problems, and its and just overall, like, there's some minor nitpicks about it. I do love this movie. I do find it is probably in my top 3 favorites in the Halloween series. I enjoy the suspense. I enjoy the kills. Love the twist ending. The twist ending for me is all worth it. Loomis is Donald Pleasance is at his best here. The girl is fantastic. The atmosphere is great. It's a good sequel, hands down. And
great
it's like,
sequel.
I think because did it do better than 3?
By $2 million, yes. No, $3 million.
It gave people exactly. This is the Jurassic World of horror films. I find where it's like it basically gave the audience what it wanted, and and people loved it for that. And with that said, I mean, I would probably put it a number. Probably it's between number 2 and number 3 in the top 3. I mean, I like Rob Zombie's Halloween, but it's kind of hard to choose which one is the second best. But I would probably rate this about a good 8.8 out of 10.
I knew you'd do that because it came out in 1988.
Yeah, it's an 8.8 out of 10 in my opinion.
So my rating is pretty similar to Jack's. I will be giving this an 8.5 out of 10. The 0.5 away for the ending and the half a point for the little nitpick of I think this movie is too short. It's one of my favorite Halloween movies. It's one of my favorite horror movies in general. It's one of my favorite horror movie sequels. That's for damn sure. I actually probably put it in my top 5.
It's one of the best horror sequels.
Overall, Halloween 4 really kicks ass. And if you're in the mood for a good Halloween movie that's not the original, even though I don't think the original is good, check out Halloween 4. I think it kicks ass.
It is definitely one of the better sequels.
So, that being said, post your comments down below and let me know what you think. Hit the like button and hit the subscribe button and share this video with your friends. And look forward to tomorrow as I tackle one of the weakest installments in the entire Halloween franchise. As I tackle 1989's Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Sigh. And it's just gonna get even more rough after that.
It's gonna get more retarded from here.
Yeah. No, thankfully it's only for 2 movies. So anyway, post your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Share this video with your friends. Check out BigJackFilms' channel. He's got some videos coming out. One coming out tonight, actually. And You got anything to pimp out, Jack?
Yeah, just tune in this coming week. I will be releasing part 6 of the Jurassic Park Legacy reviews as I tackle the Jurassic Park toys. And also more Kong reviews and shit coming, so stay tuned for that.
And like I said, stay tuned for Halloween 5 review. And as always, go out and protect your little foster sister from her murderous uncle. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Turn off, damn it.